Oh man, Broncos fans, here we are yet again looking at this Bo Nix thing, and Broncos fans told me earlier in the season that he would prove me wrong. They're 8-2. They just beat the Raiders, but it was 10-7. He didn't look good. The offense as a whole not looking good right now. J.K. Dobbins injured as well. That's a huge injury, and so now all eyes are going on Bo Nix, and we have to wonder what he's going to look like against the Chiefs this weekend. What is up, Orange Crush fans, Broncos fans, and fans of the NFL? Welcome to the Lumia Sports Podcast. Please check us out. Right under this video, you'll see our channel page. If you look, we got a ton of stuff here, videos coming to you guys every single day. You see Brissett getting hit. We have in our YouTube live, we have our previews. So we do our predictions separate, but we also do them in a live, so you guys can check that one out for the whole thing. And in our playlist, we do every single team each week throughout the season. So I'm very excited about this, very proud of this, and let's see what we have from the Broncos. I believe we said that they will continue winning against the Texans. They did. We shout out Bo Nix. We do it all the time. I said he might be him. So check out some of these other videos. This one will not be as effusive in his praise, but please give us a like, give us a sub. Check those out. Now back to the episode. And I got to be honest with you guys. It's going to be, I think the Broncos have problems. However, they are 8-2. We've seen a lot of teams. We saw the Bills again. We saw the Bills lose to the Dolphins this week. Like, you see, the Jags lost to a Texans team without their starting quarterback. Like, what the Broncos don't do is, or haven't done so far, they haven't lost to those teams. They've won 7 in a row, and that doesn't look the best way. No, but hey, you'd rather be 8-2 than 6-4 with some of those close wins that people, myself included, are critiquing being losses at this point. Now, the thing is that the Chargers are right there, and we'll actually look in the division, look at that. But they did, let's stick with the top 3. They did lose to the Colts, that's why they're behind them, and I believe that they have a better conference record right now. Yes, they do, than the Patriots. That's why they're above them, but those two teams don't play. So an interesting race right now with these 3 teams, and we're going to see what happens with that down the stretch. Now, divisional-wise, with the Broncos still in the division, but man, the AFC West is a tough division, and here come the Chargers, 3-0 in the division. They've already beaten the Broncos, but they're still a loss behind. You would love for the Chargers to lose a game at some point coming up here soon. They play the Jags this week. That would be great, just to fall back a little bit, because the Chiefs are sitting there at 5-4, and we obviously, I mean, everyone knows how dangerous they are. The Super Bowl wins, the appearances, the AFC championships, whatever have you. And the Broncos play them coming up twice, which they're going to be huge games. So let's see how the Broncos got to the point where they lead this division. They're the number 2 seed in the AFC, and with a strong chance, obviously, not just make the playoffs, but have home field in the first round. This is what you want. They came out, beat the Titans. I remember that game. Bo was a little shaky, but they came out, got the win. Tough loss to the Colts, leveraging call, or the whole thing could be different. The Colts could be 7-3, and the Broncos could be 9-1. So, hey, look, it is what it is there. But that one was a tough loss. Losing to the Chargers, that was a clutch up from Herbert. Got to be honest, Bo Nix was missing a lot of passes that game as well. But he did bounce back against the Bengals. Great job in that game. And then against the Eagles, coming up from down 17-3. Very impressive, very gritty stuff from really the entire team in that game. The Jets game was ugly, but they won. The Giants game was ugly, then very pretty. Down 19-0 in the fourth quarter. Bo Nix in the offense explodes for 33 points in that fourth quarter. Just an incredible game. Then they go for 44 on the Cowboys. And what I will say is the Texans' defense is tough, scoring 18 against them. I still wasn't at all worried, but this Raiders game, 10 points. The Raiders' defense just is not good, and I got to be honest, I'm a little concerned with that. But they've won 7 in a row. They came out with the win. That defense has looked incredible, except for the Giants game, really the entire time. And when you look, next up, obviously, I mean, this is what it's all about. Rest schedule, by the way, pretty easy. Commanders, Raiders, I mean, maybe not easy, but Commanders, Raiders right after this. That'll give you some bounce back opportunity. They almost lost to the Raiders, so I shouldn't even say that. My bad. They could easily lose that game in Las Vegas. Not even going to lie to you guys. But Chiefs at home. The Chiefs are coming off of a bye, but you do get a week and a half off. Let's see what the Broncos have in this week. There's nothing else on the schedule matters right now but this Chiefs game, because that would be huge if you could win and put them at 5-5. Not only is that big for you in the division, but that keeps them still out of the playoffs right now, which is where you would want them to be if you're the Broncos. So a very interesting game, compelling game, and I can't wait to watch and see what happens in that one. All right, guys, we have a new segment. We call it Comment of the Week. We scour the comments, and we try to find the best one from either the Broncos' previous preview or review. However, Mile High Club, nothing said. Probably shouldn't have said that, but either way, no comments mentioned from the Broncos. Get in there, because I'm going to give you guys a lot to talk about with this one. So first off, this offense stinks, and I don't know who we want to blame. I really don't. I think that Bo Nix deserves a good amount of it, for sure. However, Sean Payton and these play calls are just bad, so we're going to give you guys the whole rundown, the whole list on these things. But the fact that it's just commonplace for this offense to start off to not be able to move the ball, start off with like 3 and outs, it happens every week. And this one again, 2 straight 3 and outs. Now, part of the problem was not the first drive, but the second drive and early. They were starting on the 1-yard line. That made it tough, but after the third straight 3 and out, the crowd was like, all right, are you guys going to try yet? Because you do this all the time. And again, like I mentioned, like you have all week to scheme up something, and it just seems like the scheme never works. The adjustments start working later in the game sometimes. This was not one of those games where it started working later in the game either. But at least that kind of, like, we've seen that work in the fourth quarter, like later in games with the scheme. The plan coming into the game just doesn't really seem to have any juice offensively, and that's a bit of a problem. And again, they were at home and their crowd was booing. That's not great either. They try to reverse on a 3rd and 1. I'm like, why are we not running a Bo Nix sneak here? They end up losing 5 yards, and just for no reason, after the pump block and the touchdown, up, you know what I mean, 10-7 in the third quarter. Bo Nix throws a risky pick for no reason, and I mean, just their only TD. They started from 12-yard line. He threw another pick like later in the game. Like, not great. Guys aren't open, Bo. Now, but again, are these guys just not open? Like, is this a Sean Payton thing? I do remember the Jets game. I was watching the play calling, and I'm like, what is up with this? Like, what is Sean Payton doing? Why isn't he creating easier plays? It seems like that often, and it seems like they don't have like rhythm. Now, is Bo Nix just bad at doing it? It's possible. I'm not gonna say it's not, but they are 8-2. But at this point, week 10, like, that offense has got to pick up. And I mean, if they did, you'd be looking at a team right now. If that offense could pick it up, could easily win the Super Bowl. Their defense is incredible. 6 sacks in this game. Geno just had no chance the entire game. They did get fortunate with some holding calls. Not that the holding calls were garbage or anything like that. They were legit, but Gentry had some creases. But I mean, the numbers on the Broncos defense is just, most amount of sacks in like NFL history. Basically, they get 5 a game, 4.5 per game. Sorry, 4.5, 5 are a huge difference in sack numbers. but they scream. Again, this game's 6. And just defensively, they allow the 3rd most points per game. Like we've seen it week in, week out. They just get after you on all levels. And so, like, that's good. But, again, even with this game, it's the Raiders. And it's just like, you got the win. You did what you're supposed to do. And at the end of the day, we're about to find out. We're about to find out so much about this Broncos team. That clutch nature, because they're going up against all those things. You know what I mean? A Chiefs team that's been there, that won't fold under pressure late, but that you can get a pass rush on, and we're going to find out. A smart defensive coordinator. Do you have anything? Do you have anything that you can cook up in this game to just have an effective offense, and can Bo Nix do enough to win? I think the defense is going to be there, and I do think they're going to get stops on that team, but it's going to come down to Bo, and he's proven me wrong already before. I don't want to say he can't do it. I think he can do it. I just think he didn't do it last week. But, again, it's a week in, week out business. If this continues to falter down the stretch, it could look bad. So he's going to have to step it up in some of these games to keep doing what he's doing, which is winning them. Even if he plays the same and they keep winning, honestly, wouldn't really care. If they beat the Chiefs, don't really care how he plays. He'll get credit for that win in my eyes. But that is going to be the most important thing, trying to stay above in the division and win that game against the Chiefs, because so much of both of these seasons is now going to come down to 4:25 Eastern, 3:25, I think, Central, and that game being played at Mile High. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please watch some of the other videos on the site. I've created a playlist with each and every football team, and every week we will be going over those games. I'm really loving this, enjoying it, and hoping you guys are as well. Of course, like, subscribe, and if anyone wants to sponsor, we're looking for Lumia Sports Productions is looking for sponsors. Shout us out. We will shout you out during the video. Thank you guys again for watching. Have a great day. Enjoy.